episode 59 of Comics and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Lumpy.
And this is the Review Shootout Reviews comics, chronologically, kind of. And I just forgot that I never did any numbers or knockout counts or anything for this one, so we're going to have to do it as we go.
We're going to wing it. This is a little peek behind the curtain. We're winging it. Usually we're scripted. We're very scripted and everything's written down, but this time we're winging it.
Yeah.
I'm not part of any of that.
We're just very good at pretending like we're not scripted.
Anyhow, this is Batman number 10. It was released in May 1942. So, you guys noticed that this one was weird, right?
Not as weird as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't weird. I realized what they were doing.
Well, you want to know why? Because there is two new writers on these comics.
Yeah, I was going to complain about the wordiness, because it's very, very, it's like almost reading a novel, these four were.
This is the best Batman comic, hands down, so far.
Really? Are you serious? I thought you were kidding. Are you serious?
I am not kidding.
Wow.
There was a lot of words, and I always complain about the words, but these actually were stories. I really liked it a lot.
I was very pressed for time reading it. I was very pressed for time reading these ones, and reading them drove me nuts because it was like a page for like 10 minutes sometimes because it was so wordy.
It is a lot of words, and for comic books, for me, I'm not a wordy comic book person.
Right.
I want the pictures to tell a lot of story, but even though it was a lot of words, I will say these are the first ones that I read, and when I got through, there was actually a story. So it was like, the end wasn't just the end. It was actually a story that went through it.
Right.
Is it that it's the best one that you read, or is it we've come off a pretty bad streak of bad ones for a while, and this one just seems good in comparison?
Right. These ones were interesting because they had a story. Some of the ones we've read in recent, the recent ones had no story at all. We're like, I'm not sure what happened in this comic.
And you might be right by saying that because, the last few were bad, including the last few Batman issues were bad. I just wasn't interested. They just didn't do it. And then even when they started to get good, they just ended, they didn't even know how to end them or whatever it was. But
right.
So maybe that's my opinion because of that, but I actually did like all of these stories. I actually don't really have a complaint other than that they were a bit wordy, but I thought it was okay that it was wordy.
I didn't like 3 of the 4 stories, and even the 4th story I had a problem with. So, we'll get into all that. Anyway, let's get the credits out of the way. So, the executive editor is Whitney Ellsworth as normal. The cover artist is actually Jerry Robinson and Fred Ray. I think they did the last Detective Comics cover we did cover 2. So we don't even have that. The first story was written by a new guy, Joseph Green, penciled by Bob Kane and Jerry Robinson, inked by Jerry Robinson and George Russo's, and lettered by George Russo's. Second story is the same credits. The third story was written by a guy named Jack Schiff, who I think did a couple of previous cover arts, because that's the first that I've seen him. But the penciler is Jerry Robinson and Fred Ray, and inked by Jerry Robinson and George Russo's. And the third story was written by Bill Finger, the guy who's pretty much written everything up until this point.
Right.
And it was penciled by Bob Kane and Jerry Robinson. Jerry Robinson and George Russo's, inkered and lettered by George Russo's. Okay. So, yeah, we got new writers, new people getting in on the job. So, I guess, they must be moving up in the world, maybe, as far as selling more comics, hiring more staff and stuff.
Right.
Maybe giving some of these guys vacations or something.
Yeah, I need a day off. I've been writing since 1939, right?
Yeah, so who knows?
or just to get a little bit of a fresher look into it, somebody that can kind of freshen it up. They did get a little stale.
They were getting a little, and you notice when new people come in, they try to make a name for themselves, and they go all in. So
yeah.
Alright, so I mentioned this was released in April, but this is the April-May issue of Batman, number 10. And the cover's interesting.
Not bad. Not bad, but interesting.
Yeah, it's Batman and Robin standing on top of black and white drawings of one of their comics, essentially. With, like, giant inkwell next to them, and they're both holding paint. Is that paintbrushes or pens?
One has an ink pen, one has a paintbrush.
Yeah, it looks like Robin has an ink pen, and Batman has a paintbrush, and he's waving hi to us.
Because it's like one of those old-fashioned ink pens.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the inkwell's for, that old-fashioned ink pen.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's different than what we're normally used to as far as this goes. Anyway, it's still 10 cents. And you guys want to say anything more about the cover?
They don't sell it in Canada, apparently.
Say that every week.
Because one day it's going to pop back up where it says Canada 15 cents or something.
I mean, the only thing I will say about this cover is that I do think they actually took some time for detail here. Like even the page behind them is actually all drawn out. Each panel has actually something going on. It's not like not just a background, like a page background. There actually is stuff in it. And actually, I'm trying to figure out if it's just an old comic or is this some of the stuff from this one.
The panel that they're standing on is from this comic.
Yeah, that's whole page is from this comic, because that's the guy with the knife is when the guy tries to stab Robin.
Yeah.
So I guess they're all from this comic.
So they didn't redraw none. They just took that and drew it on top of it. They didn't really put that much detail in it. They cheated.
They did it for the cover, and I even think the detail on Batman is done really well. And same with Robin, like the definition in his legs and stuff. I think it actually looks like somebody took their time to do it. I don't know that it's a great cover, but it does look like they took some time to do it.
They look way too jolly, but you know what I did notice? Is it only Detective Comics that has that little circle with Batman in the top corner? Or did they just not? It is just Detective Comics?
Because there's different stories in those. This one's just Batman. So.
This one's just Batman. Okay.
And it's also a Superman DC publication.
Of course it is.
So, by the way, I did not do Superman secret code.
Oh, come on. You're fired.
Because, okay, you're going to run through this?
Yes.
Uh-huh. But I didn't do it because they didn't have the answers anywhere, and I would have to actually decode it with the stupid code.
That's why he sent you the code. He sent you the code so you could do it.
Not doing it.
You take a picture of them and send them to me, and I'll decode them, and then I will read them next week.
Thank you. Somebody's dedicated around here. I'm not doing
Some of us want to give.
I barely got these comics read today.
Some of us want to give our listeners what they're asking for.
If I didn't even bring it up, you guys wouldn't even know it existed.
Exactly. So then you bring it up, and then you half-ass it, and you bail. You didn't even finish it. You brought it up.
I just mentioned it.
I didn't
read the book review either that I said that was in there.
Did we have like a comic to go over, or
huh?
Didn't we have a comic we were supposed to go over? Or?
No, we have 4.
I forgot.
All right, let's get into the first story, which is called "The Isle That Time Forgot."
Like the movie "The Land That Time Forgot" or the book "The Land That Time Forgot."
Oh, really?
They do this a lot. They just take like a movie story and make it a Batman story.
Anyway, the opening splash page is Batman and Robin fighting a T-Rex.
And Batman's got like a club in his hand, and I saw this and I'm like, oh, cool! It's gonna be dinosaurs. But I don't know. I was kind of let down.
It is dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so okay.
So here we go. Can we not talk about this first page, or can we just skip it? Or?
All right, so we open up with Dick sleeping in bed, and there's a shadowed hand creepily over his bed.
It is creepy too when you find out what he wants to do.
And then Bruce Wayne's there and starts spanking Robin. Or Dick.
Is this a thing? Is this a thing? Like you just wake the kid up out of his sound sleep and start spanking him? And he don't even know what he did. He's like, what did I do?
I mean, listen, we've all given birthday punches, okay?
Right.
I don't know about the spankings.
I have heard of the birthday spankings, but it's an old thing.
Is it really? I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And
this is not anything I've ever experienced.
This is a little boy that he did not raise from a baby, and he sneaks into his bedroom and starts spanking him. It is weird.
Like I said, I have heard of the birthday spanks before, but Bruce Wayne doing the Dick Grayson when he's a kid is a little strange.
Very weird.
Is this the PSA you were talking about?
No, the PSA is the next episode.
The next one. I know what he meant by it.
But yeah, so what's interesting is he does spank him 10 times, which means it's his 9th birthday.
Because he said one for good luck.
Yeah.
So Robin's 9.
So technically, yeah, so he has aged a year, because we always said 8, even though people say that he's 14 or something.
Wait. No, he only gets up to number 8.
8, and then he gives him 1 for good measure and 1 to grow.
So he's only 8.
I don't know, but if you look at his birthday cake later, there's 14 candles on it, so...
It's a mystery.
Who
That's
knows?
a stupid-looking cake, too, by the way.
Dick Grayson is between the ages of 8 and 14, so...
However old he is, he flies a plane today, just so you know.
Oh, we'll get to that. But back to the cake. 1, it's a cake under a blanket. That blanket's covered in frosting now.
Oh, yeah. And, like, he didn't even ice in the sides of the cake. He only iced in the top.
You actually think he did that?
You're right, he paid somebody to do that. Actually, it's probably, like, one of them fancy, like... Cake Boss did it or something, too.
I was going to say, yeah, he went and spent a lot of money on this. He did not do any of that. And is it a 3-layer cake?
Oh, is that what that is? There's like cookies or something at the bottom and then...
That's how I was trying to figure out. Is that like a plate at the bottom or is that...
What I think is sad is this is worse than his sad Christmas party.
I beg to differ. Other than the spankings, he gets an airplane.
He does get an airplane.
Just saying.
Yeah, he does get an airplane. His very own airplane.
Because, yeah, the ornament on the cake is a bat plane, essentially. Yes. Which, if he did get someone to make it, did he say, "Can I have a bat plane?"
Yeah, his kid likes Batman.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, they go from Wayne Manor down to their underground tunnel all the way over to their barn, where Bruce, as these guys have spoiled, had gotten him a plane.
Yeah.
And then later that night, they take it up. And I guess they fly for a while, and then they get caught in a storm. And when they get through the storm...
No, like, technology to, like, know that there's a storm ahead or nothing like that? Is that... They flew right into a damn hurricane. Isn't there something, like a barometer, like something drops?
And it says, and then, without warning...
Sometimes storms just pop up.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and he says before the storm happened, it's shaking like a leaf in a wind.
He does say, well, when it starts to get windy, he probably should start thinking about taking it down. Instead, he drives right into the hurricane.
It came out.
I thought when I was reading that, I thought, well, Batman's taking his plane back.
No more plane for Dick.
Yep, too bad. You ain't get no plane.
Well, whatever the case, he does take control of the wheel, Batman, because as they're flying through the storm, Robin's all of a sudden got binoculars on, looking out. And he looks down and says he sees a dinosaur. And Batman's like, stop lying, you don't see a dinosaur. And he takes it, and then he sees cavemen attacking a woman and a guy. And so they land to go help them. And they run through the forest, there's a giant snake. And then the caveman ambush them. They hit them on the head. They don't knock them out.
You sure?
Yeah, because they're rubbing their heads still.
I don't know,
just so you know,
it says many, many minutes later.
Just so you know, I muted the cough, and then while you were talking, I was talking to you the whole time, and I couldn't figure out why you weren't listening to me.
It says Batman and Robin shake the fog from their aching heads and see.
Okay,
so I think they were knocked out.
I just took it that it was like they were just put right next to them and they were right there.
You just don't feel like recording knockouts.
He forgot where it is. He can't find it.
Whatever. If we're counting them as knockouts, it's 33 for Batman and 20 for Robin.
Nah, let's not count them. What the heck is that?
The cat says we're going to count them.
The cat's in. The cat weighed in, and we're counting them.
Hold on.
Can you save the cat for like two stories? I wonder if we can get her to do that on cue.
I'll try.
Alright, so I said back KO 33 RKO. Alright. Anyway, back to this. So, is one of the cavemen holding a harp?
Or it looks like the grill to the front of a car, but I don't know if it's a shield. Yeah.
But we'll find out later, and it doesn't matter. So.
Anyway, this guy in like an explorer's outfit is commanding these cavemen, and they got these two other guys tied up, but they didn't bother tying up Batman and Robin for whatever reason.
Oh, we'll find that out later, too. Go ahead.
And then Batman and Robin attack the cavemen.
Yeah, they put on a good fight.
They put on the big fight, but then the cavemen and the explorer guy run away, and they're like, why did they run away? And they turn around, and there's a giant T-Rex attacking them.
Yep, it's scary, too.
And so the Batman and Robin kind of run from the T-Rex until Batman
tells Robin.
Go ahead.
Batman tells Robin to distract the T-Rex.
He does.
He does. And Robin does a good job.
Yeah, he makes faces at him.
But we all know Batman's trying to kill Robin. So.
Right. So he's like, go distract the T-Rex. Nobody's going to do it. I'm running away from the T-Rex. I'm not distracting the T-Rex.
But Robin wasn't scared. He stayed there.
Yeah, he did. He even said, yeah.
I didn't even catch it because I was so distracted by what was going on in this. And then when we find out later, this scene makes no sense.
I know. Well, it does because, go ahead.
Batman
we'll have an argument later.
ties the rope around the T-Rex neck, then around a tree, and chokes the thing out, I think?
Yeah, chokes it to death.
So he makes it like a noose, so that when the T-Rex struggles to get away, it tightens around his neck until it pulls him to the ground.
It strangles him, because he says about strangling, so he does. Mm-hmm. He strangles him to death.
And so, after they defeated the T-Rex, Batman and Robin go and help the two people that were captured. The woman faints, but the man hits Batman and Robin in the back of the head.
And knocks them out.
And knocks them out. This is where I counted the first knockout. But yeah,
anytime they get hit in the head, they get knocked out.
Yep. Well, listen, we find out, like, nowadays that concussions really mess you up. So maybe this is all like a fever. Why do you think
they keep doing all this?
Maybe this is all like a dream for Batman and Robin because they got concussions.
Maybe.
The whole thing. Maybe there was never a Batman. He banged his head too many times. Or
maybe Dick's still sleeping in his bed.
Maybe Dick got a spanking.
He was dreaming of Batman spanking him. That's what it was.
He spanked Dick.
And he liked it too, so.
He did.
34 knockouts for Batman, 21 for Robin. Anyway, so they tie Batman and Robin up. They take Robin with them, but they leave Batman to be strangled to death by a giant boa constrictor.
Yeah. Well, they just kind of leave Batman there, and the boa constrictor comes down.
Yeah, well, that was their plan, because they're going to kill him, so they say, oh, there's a giant snake, leave him here to be killed by this boa constrictor.
That's not what we find out later. They didn't even know the snake was there.
Then why did they leave him there?
Because they were just leaving him there.
No. We find out later about this guy's motivation, and he was really trying to kill Batman.
Oh, this guy was.
I don't think that the snake was part of his plan. Like, originally part of his plan, but it happened to work out for him.
You're right, though. This guy was trying to kill Batman.
I'm reading through it again.
This guy's crabbing my act. I want him out of the way for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the snake just shows up. But anyway, Batman, and the snake's going to kill Batman. Batman's dead here. There's no way around it. Yeah. So, but somebody shoots the snake and it's dead and saves Batman. But
Batman gets free from the tree and stands up, and then he does a dance. Did you see that middle panel? He's doing the Batusi there. It's like
yeah, is he like off balance or something there? I don't know what that is.
I thought he was he was doing a victory dance. I don't know.
I think it's them showing that he's shouting. Like throwing his hands up, yelling.
Come out.
I never dance around when I'm shouting. I usually, it's a little weird.
And anyway, he goes to the person who saves him, but he's gone. But he finds footprints, and there's a mystery afoot with this place. But we cut over to the people who kidnapped Robin, and the girlfriend of the guy that were captured and saved and betrayed Batman says, "We're not going to kill the kid, are we?" And he says, No. And then the other guy throws him in a giant terrarium?
They say cage, but you're right. It looks like a giant, like a glass terrarium.
Yes, it does.
But anyway, there's a saber-toothed tiger inside of it, because of course there is.
I'm not going to kill him. I'm just going to throw him in with this giant tiger.
Yeah, but the saber-toothed tiger is also extinct, so of course there is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the saber-toothed tiger proceeds to chase Robin up a tree, and then Robin calls Batman on the radio saying, "Come help me." But Batman runs into the Explorer, and he's like, "Did you save me?" And he's like, "No, but I know who did, but I'm going to stop you." And then Batman knocks him out. Meanwhile, Robin's kicking the saber-toothed tiger in the face, trying to stop it from eating him. And then the Explorer shoots at Batman as Batman knocks him and his goons out with a tree. And then Batman shows up to Robin and wrestles the saber-toothed tiger.
Wait. Before we get to the Batman shows up to Robin, Batman follows a radio signal to find Robin.
Yes.
He says an invisible signal he was following. What?
Yes.
He's just wandering around and waiting for Robin's voice to come in, and if it was louder, he went that way? Is that what he was doing? Because that's stupid. I hate to tell you that's stupid.
It is actually what they did, and I agree. It's a little suspect.
Yeah.
But
this is the same issue with Tyrannosaurus Rex and saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah, but they have a reason for that. They don't have a reason why he can follow a radio signal to find Robin. If that's the case, Robin would never be captured again.
I think he's captured in this issue of Batman.
You're right, he is. A couple times, I think, maybe, but... Anyway.
He shows up to the saber-toothed tiger and proceeds to choke that out after ripping its tooth out.
So, he rips the tooth out of the saber-toothed tiger after he gives it, like, a chokehold, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it sound like it wasn't that hard to fight because it wasn't a saber-toothed tiger. It was just a regular tiger, which, for some reason, that doesn't make it any better to me. Like, he can't wrestle a regular tiger or a saber-toothed tiger, right?
He can.
I mean...
Well, he does.
But,
he also kills the tiger.
Yeah, he kills the poor tiger with the tusk.
Yeah, he murders the tiger.
Anyway, they escape from the tiger's cage, and then they're attacked by the Explorer and the cavemen again, and there's a giant fight going on, and then Robin sees two other guys, one with a machine gun. He goes over, and Robin sees a video recorder, a camera. And he comes out and shows...
You know what's bad? From the video camera to the summing up and explaining of the entire story is one page.
Yes, it is.
That's how wordy these stories are. It is one novel from here on out to tell you what happened in this story.
So yeah, Robin comes over with the cameraman and the guy who saved Batman, which is, I assume, is the director or the producer. But these guys were filming a movie.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin stumbled upon their movie.
Yep.
Right? And these guys decided they were going to capitalize.
Yeah,
you know how much publicity they get with Batman and Robin starring in their movie?
True. Now, the next panel, the guy whaps Batman on the back of the head and it doesn't do anything.
Because he forgot it was fake.
How do you forget it's fake?
I don't know, but this guy was mad that Batman and Robin stole his movie, so he was going to kill Batman and Robin. So
yeah, he was a star, and he was going to kill Batman and Robin.
Because he was relatively unknown, and he was afraid that they were going to do it. So we find out the dinosaur was a robot.
Yes, there was a guy controlling it.
How did he choke out a robotic dinosaur?
See, this is what I was going to tell you. He didn't. The guy was instructed to, if Batman chokes him out, to make the thing fall over for the movie.
Right, he's an actor. And when Batman got the thing around, he was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Batman just killed the dinosaur.
Batman killed the dinosaur.
Fall down. Yeah. Perfect."
All right, well, whatever. And Batman's like, "Well, I'm an idiot." So, and then they fly away. And it's okay with him being in the movie.
And okay that the guy tried to murder him and didn't take him away.
Yeah. What's even worse? Back when he was dating Julie Madsen, when she was in the movies, that producer tried to get him in movies all the time, and he kept saying, "No, crime is my job." And now he just accepts this role?
He got no money for it.
He's not getting paid for it or nothing. He's allowing them to use the footage that they got. And he had fun with Dick on his birthday.
He sure did.
I guess. I don't know. I don't like it.
I was okay with it. I like when they summed it up. It was okay. But, I mean, there was some problems to say the least.
I am glad there wasn't actual dinosaurs, but...
No,
I was going to say that I thought you would have liked it, TJ. I thought you were going to be okay with the fact that it wasn't technically fantasy.
I would have rather had the fantasy than the stupid fake out.
Well,
I like the fake out.
No, that's how they got dinosaurs in for people like you. I want the dinosaurs. I want them to fly in and there really be a T-Rex there. That's what I want.
I'm okay with that, too.
So, about that T-Rex, Batman actually takes that. That's the T-Rex in his Batcave in all the recent comics.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, all those trophies he kept in?
Yeah, he's got all that. I remember the T-Rex there now, but I never knew why it was there.
Yeah, this is the story it came from.
Very cool, actually. That's pretty neat.
Wow, they dragged that along all these years?
Yep.
Wow, that's neat.
So, but I don't know how he got it off that island.
No, me neither, but I did always wonder, like, even in the cartoon, if he's in the Batcave where the trophies and stuff are, that dinosaur's there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
neat.
I guess that was his payment for the movie.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe he's like, when you're done, I want that stupid dinosaur.
Yeah. All right. Are we done with that one?
Are we done with that one? Yeah, we're done with it.
Because I think we're going into the worst one.
You think?
I did not like this one at all.
Okay, maybe.
I can see why you'd say that.
Yeah.
It is a PSA, so I get it. But I didn't think it was terrible.
I got one part in particular that really bothered me. Alright, so this story is called The Report Card Blues, right? Report Card Blues, yes. That's what that one's called. The opening splash page is some weird kid thinking about Batman and Robin beating up some goons as he watches along.
Right.
And we open up, really, with him in his bed and his mom calling him to say he's going to be late for school. And then the start of his bad day happens.
Well, he knew he was going to get in trouble, so he freaks out. Yep.
His mom tells him that he's not allowed to play hooky today because she knows that he did. His teacher tells him that you're going to receive your report cards. And what you know when you get your report cards? Did they tell you the day before you're going to get your report cards? I don't remember.
They don't tell you the day before, really. But, I mean, you know the semester's ending or, like, the quarter's ending.
I feel like we did get a thing saying report cards are coming out next week or something like that.
Yeah, we probably did.
And you knew when your grades were in.
Yeah, so I just felt weird that he didn't know that he was getting his report card. Anyway,
well, apparently he's not a very good student, so he wasn't paying attention. That's probably
well, that's fair too. Yeah. And then his dad tells him that he's not going to beat him if he gets bad grades. He's just not going to let him play after school.
I believe the dad tells him he's not going to beat him this time.
Yes, he does.
Like, it has happened before.
Not this. Yeah. I thought you meant in lieu of later times.
No. This time in lieu of, like, the last 5
every
times
other time
I beat the crap out of you.
Every other time he probably got his butt kicked, yes.
Yeah. He got woken up to spankings, and it wasn't even his birthday.
Right, they weren't even good ones.
So, yeah, the kid's like, well, this is going to be bad for me, and I won't even be able to hang out with my friends anymore, so I'm just going to run away. Which, if you do that, you're not going to be able to hang with your friends anyway. What difference does it make? So, he goes down, and his mother is knitting him a sweater, and he has second thoughts, but he says, no, I decided, and I'm doing it. And he walks out into the night with a hobo bag.
That's how everybody ran away back then.
Oh, is that how it is?
All the way up to like the 60s and 70s with Bugs Bunny. Yeah, everybody ran away with that hobo bag. That's how you knew people were running away.
Yeah, that's their way of drawing him running away.
Yeah.
This hobo bag.
So,
I don't know why they tied it up and put it on a stick, by the way. I never understood that.
It's easier to carry.
On a stick?
Yeah.
Well, because it's not a bag. It's like a blanket or something, so they had to tie it around to close it up.
Right, well, they put over clothes in a blanket or something. I guess they didn't have luggage and stuff.
I mean, I'm sure there was luggage and stuff, but a kid isn't going to have that.
No, the person running away doesn't usually go get their luggage. They throw a blanket down, they grow some shit. All right, I'll give it to you.
Anyway, we cut over to Batman and Robin beating up some thugs. I don't know what they did. Oh, no, they're setting a bomb. One of those cartoon bombs.
Well, they're setting up a bomb, and Batman and Robin come and kick their ass, but they forget about the bomb?
Yeah, they forget about the bomb and then it explodes.
Stupid.
I say then it blows up.
It says that in the heat of the battle, the bomb is utterly forgotten.
And Batman and Robin are covered in debris, and the bad guys get away in a bakery truck.
Yeah.
Butcher
truck. Oh, it's bakery first. You're right.
Bakery
first. Yeah.
And then the cops show up and ask Batman what happens. He says, the bad guys got away in a bakery shop. And so, do the cops just announce over the radio, public radio, that they're coming after criminals?
Yeah, well, they do. Yeah. They put it out in public just saying, if you see 3 men in a bakery truck, please report it so that we know, because that's what we're looking for right now.
Well, part of my problem is apparently Batman doesn't know how to describe something, because he could have said a yellow bakery truck, and then when they switched it to the butcher truck, they'd be able to find a yellow truck still.
That's fair, too.
Right.
I didn't even think of that.
That's stupid.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of yellow trucks, though.
Do you think? I think there's just a lot of yellow trucks.
All the delivery trucks were yellow back then.
You know, it's a possibility, because you know when a new color comes out in the car, everybody's got that color. You know the obnoxious green Jeep that drives around, it's like Ryobi color green?
Yep.
It's obnoxious.
Everybody's got it,
and I swear it's following me. Everywhere I go, that green Jeep is everywhere I go. And it's not, it's ugly looking. I'm sorry. If you own one, I apologize. Yours is nice. Thank you.
I don't.
If you're a listener, then you have a nice one.
Anyhow, because the crooks heard the bulletin, they decide, I don't know where they go, but they find a butcher's shop sign and replace the bakery sign, because I guess they just took...
No, it says they flip over when the sign is turned over. It's a
all the delivery trucks are basically the same. So they just flipped the bakery sign to now it's the butcher delivery.
And they actually place signs on them, and it's not painted on them. There were signs.
No, it's signs because they had to be able to sell the truck without having to get it painted and stuff. So they would just change the sign.
They didn't go 75 miles an hour like we do now. You know, they're driving through the streets doing 25. The sign
they
stayed
on there. They went 20 or 25 tops.
Anyway, they're not confident in their plan about switching the sign, but they see a kid walking down the street and decide to give him a ride so they can get through a checkpoint. And it works because the cops are stupid.
Cops are like, oh, they can't be doing anything wrong. There's a kid in the car. We're good.
There's 3 men and a little boy. We're going to let you guys go because we're only looking for 3 men.
And besides,
and it's the middle of the night.
And it's a butcher's truck, not a bakery truck, you know.
Yeah.
Right, so it obviously can't be this one.
This is not the truck you're looking for. They did a Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
But once they break through the checkpoint, they brag about it, and then they throw the kid in the back and tell him to be quiet. And they're taking him to his boss.
Yeah.
And so they go to a florist named Milo.
Well, first there's a perfectly cut hole in the back of the car, and the kid shelves rolls outside of the truck.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're right.
Because that's how else will Batman find them. This isn't This isn't the last time in this issue somebody does this either.
That's true.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
So if you are in trouble and you want Batman to find you, just start throwing crap on the ground. He'll follow it.
Anyway, they take the kid to their boss, the florist, who likes roses and stuff. And then, as you said, Batman finds the trail of rolls and decides to follow it.
And follows it in the stupidest Batmobile I've ever seen. Like, I've been saying stupid a lot this episode, but this is really stupid looking. How bad does that Batmobile look on that 4th panel?
Yeah, it does look like it was
in the first panel, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. And then they show it from the side, and it looks like a submarine or something.
It looks like they turned like a Volkswagen Beetle into a Batmobile. It's like really stubby.
Beetle.
That's what it looks like.
It actually looks like a shark to me, but...
It does.
Well, it's got that fin on the back.
So anyway, the big eyes thugs are like, they were like, so we brought this kid thing, and he's like, oh, that's a smart plan, and except you brought him back here to our hideout, stupid.
Now we gotta kill him. Now we gotta murder a child because of you.
Yeah, and he rightfully slaps the guy, and they're about to take care of the kid, and then Batman shows up and attacks. And there's a giant fight scene, some guy tried to stab Robin.
You know it would have been better if they walked in and Robin was eating a roll. They followed the rolls and Robin picked one up and ate it on the way in. That would let them know that they followed the rules, you know?
I don't know.
So this is the page that was on the cover.
Yes. And I don't know which story it was in, but Robin makes a pun and Batman scolds him for the bad pun.
He says good move and bad pun. I forget where it was, too.
And then he proceeds to go and say more bad puns, Batman. Yeah. And then Robin later actually makes fun of himself for having a bad pun. So I guess only Batman's allowed to use puns.
Is that in this issue, or is it?
It's I don't know which story it is. It's somewhere in 10.
We'll have to keep our eye out.
It's through the 4. It might have even been in the last issue, but I remember it specifically saying because we had this conversation before. Batman scolded him on bad puns.
Yeah, on the bad pun.
Yeah, but it's happened again, and when he has no right to. Anyway, the Batman and Robin are beating up the thugs, but the boss puts a gun to the kid's head and says, "Stop or I kill him." And so they surrender. Okay. And then Batman and Robin get locked in a room tied up, and the kid's like, "You're gonna get us out of this," and Batman's like, "Sure," and and then he says to himself, "I don't know if we're gonna be able to get out of this."
Yeah, he's not real confident. Batman's not real confident there. He's like, I hope I can get him out of here.
He's been in worse positions than this. He's got batarangs. Well, maybe not batarangs. We didn't get to that yet, but he's got like knives and stuff in his pocket.
He does.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
instead he comes up with the craziest plan I ever heard.
That's my biggest issue with this comic. We'll get to it.
Here's the thing. It works. That's all you gotta know. It works.
But it doesn't, and I'll explain why. So, they have to... Today's the first of the month, and they have to collect stuff, so... I'm not sure why he's got... The cops are on them, so they have to make it fast. So he sends out his goons to go collect collection money from... all the people he needs to so they can get out quick, and they take the kid with them for insurance. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin are left with one guard, which is ridiculous that they can't just stand up and kick him in the face and knock him out because he's a stupid idiot. But who wants to explain Batman's plan here?
Well, first off, you said he took the kid along for insurance. He took the kid along to use as a shield in case anybody shoots at him. He literally says...
He does say that.
Yeah.
He said he'll be my shield in case
there's gunfire. Yeah.
I mean, he is a bad guy. What you expect?
But, so yeah, Batman decides, he sees this plant, and he decides that to get out of here, they're going to kick this plant over to where the steam is, right?
To where
the radiator there puts off a very high, dry heat.
Right. Now, they mess with radiator. So then the steam makes a fern ripen, and the fern, when it was ripened, ejects its seeds forcefully, apparently, and Batman read this in a book.
He read it in the encyclopedia.
So Batman just sits around reading the encyclopedia?
I mean, what else are you going to do in 1942?
True. Well, you could listen to, like, the radio shows, but...
I mean, how you going to listen to him all day long, though? He has no job.
So I don't know what kind of plant this is.
It's a fern.
They call it a fern. But
yes.
I'm going to tell you this. I have a plant in my yard. It's called wisteria. In the summertime, if you sit outside on my back deck, you literally hear the wisteria pop, and it shoots seeds all over, like legitimately like projectiles all over the place.
Yes,
but if the wisteria wasn't ripe, and you just put it next to steam for like 3.5 minutes, I don't think it would ripen the wisteria.
This bothered me. This bothered me so much, I looked it up.
Oh, nice.
So, first of all, a fern doesn't ripen for like 6 months, so it would have been perfect timing for him to put that there and get it to ripen to a specific thing in order to do this. And just say it is. Even if it did, ferns don't expel seeds, they expel spores, so they wouldn't even expel it like this. It would have been nothing.
You're just not having fun with this comic book, TJ.
This was so ridiculous and so wrong.
Listen, here's the thing. I get what you're saying, but the reality is they could have just had the two of them get up and kick the guy in the chin like they do 5,000 other times.
True. They're trying to get a little crafty. They're trying to get
this is a little bit... Yeah, it's far-fetched. It's way beyond far-fetched. But... it was fun.
My problem is that they make a point to say we read this in the encyclopedia, so they looked something up and still got it wrong.
No, they got it right because it worked. saying.
They said, "Oh, plants expel seeds." So yeah, what's in that house? Oh, ferns. Okay, expelled seed.
I disagree.
You always disagree with me. You just love PSAs.
I don't like
to till you ruined it for me.
Yeah, you ruined it. Until we had the Spider-Man got touched story.
I made up for it.
Sure.
I did. I gave you asthma monsters.
That's
by
true.
tearing down this PSA.
All right, I'm moving on. Anyway, so Batman and Robin escape ridiculously, and then they find the what is it called, the book that holds all the names and stuff that the criminal has
of their customers, their protection customers.
Yeah, but isn't that book called something? Ledger, the Ledger.
Yeah, it's their ledger.
Heath Ledger. I didn't even joke time. I came up with that on my own.
Worst Joker ever.
It was the worst Joker ever. We're going to get in trouble for that, but who cares?
So,
I'm actually joking about it anyway, but
I'm not a fan of that Joker. Give me a Nicholson or 60s Batman.
I like
that.
TJ.
Okay. So the crooks are beating up the shop owners. This is in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, the shop owners apparently hung around tonight for some reason. It's an arcade, too. They're like hanging around in an arcade.
In a mall or something.
They're doing their books.
There's no children there at the arcade, so it is late.
Anyway, so they're shaking down these guys, and Robin shows up into the barber shop and starts beating up some guys, throwing hot towels at them, shaves one guy's head. Meanwhile, Batman's in the arcade beating up the other guys. But there's like a shooting range in this arcade. Was that a thing?
Yes. Not a shooting range, but like a shooting gallery, like a... You shoot little BBs and stuff. I actually
still
had a lot of fun. Yeah, I like them. They're fun, actually.
No, I mean, I always thought they were in carnivals. I never thought they would be in an arcade.
Well, they had little small ones in the arcades. Actually, if you go down the basement in the Wildwood arcade, the Wildwood Boardwalk Mall in New Jersey, downstairs they have all these pinball machines lined up, and they have a small shooting gallery that costs $0.25, and you put it in.
Oh. Does it still shoot the BBs, or is it?
It
the
still shoots. It shoots BBs, and it's awesome.
I like that.
little stupid fake BBs, but
they're just
nice.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
So Batman punches a guy into a fortune teller that says he's going to have problems with a tall, dark figure. So, jokes.
Yeah.
And so the kid tries to sneak away to tell a policeman to help Batman, but he gets thrown back by the guy. And then he just finds a bow and arrow and somehow lights it on fire.
Right. Apparently the kid sucks at school, but he's a #1 archer because he can shoot his arrow right where he wants it to while it's on fire.
And so he shoots it into the ceiling. And meanwhile, Batman and Robin continue to fight. And just as they come in and about to get shot in ambush, the sprinkler system goes off. And that's a lot of water for a sprinkler system.
There's no fire staying on with that sprinkler. It looks like the sprinklers that splurt out the blood in the beginning of the Blade movie. That's what it looks like.
I'm trying to figure something out. I don't think Lumpy was listening.
Well, I was reading something else. I was trying to figure out if Batman kills this guy or not.
I only mentioned the best opening in one of the movies my favorite opening in one of the movies I've seen in my entire life. But all right, forget it.
Yeah, I completely missed it.
We both did. I was reading to see if Batman actually, because I'm reading to see Batman shoots this guy a bunch of times.
I said that sprinkler system looks like the opening of the Blade movie when the blood comes out at the disco and Blade kills all the vampires. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I just did a review.
I love that movie, but I don't remember that.
That is one of the first scenes in the movie. They're in a club. The girl takes the dude back to the club, and they're all dancing. All the vampires, everybody's dancing. Doesn't know the vampires, and then the sprinkler system goes off, and it's all blood. And then you look around, and all the vampires are there. And then the camera pans up, and Blade's standing there, and he puts his sword on the ground and scrapes it around in a half circle. And then he walks out and starts kicking vampire ass.
Yeah, I just
don't really remember that scene. And I love Blade. Blade is
you have to watch that scene. That scene is one of the best, my favorite scenes in any movie.
I just reviewed that movie, and that movie is so long.
I really like that movie, though.
I do. Good. I really like it.
It's good, but man, is it long.
Well, it's long if you're going to review it. Just like my other podcast we do, the Jay and Silent Bob Minute. You don't realize when you're watching something minute by minute how Like, we might stay in one set for like 4 weeks. And if you're reviewing it, you're paying too much attention, even if you're not doing it minute by minute, you know?
That's true.
Writing notes down. Maybe you watched it twice.
Yeah, no, I can't do that, but...
Yeah, you only go through it once.
Yeah, I can't. I take notes as I'm watching it. A lot of them I've already seen, though, so it helps.
Yeah. Do you pause it when you take notes?
No.
Oh, okay.
But...
How long is the movie? What was the runtime? Do you remember?
It's over 2 hours.
See, I like an hour and a half for a movie. You'll hear me complain about it if you listen to the other podcasts. Hour and a half is my cutoff.
Me too.
2 hours and 15 minutes nowadays isn't that big a deal. My daughter's got me watching the Harry Potter movies, and they're all 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, I know. Some of the superhero movies are over 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's my only problem is, as much as I like the superhero movies, because I love all of them, I do struggle to stay awake. 3 hours is a long
time.
Is a long
What
movie,
happened to intermissions? Give me an intermission in a movie so I can get up and go to the bathroom and stuff and not miss nothing.
Man. Anyway, I guess we should get back to this uninteresting comic because we don't really care about it.
Wait, so did Batman kill this guy or not?
Hold on, before we even get to that, I was reading before that. The flaming arrow apparently is so hot that the blazing heat melts the soft metal pipe plugs that I guess are in the sprinkler system. I don't know how the sprinkler system goes off if it has to melt.
I believe there's plugs in the pipes, is from what I gather. Not that I know anything about this, but the plugs in the pipes, if they heat up, they probably don't have to get that hot. That pops and turns the sprinkler system on. That's what the kid said he learned in school, apparently. He was paying attention that day.
So, that was just to show that he's not actually a bad kid as a PS for the PSA.
Now, what
he
guy
just
do we
thinks
think
he's bad?
What guy do we think Batman killed?
Before the arrow, Batman takes the gun, and it says, expert shooting circles the hoodlum with a whining ring of bullets.
Oh yeah, my God, I didn't even see that.
None of the bullets actually show them in the guy. It's all around them.
It says circles the hoodlum, but Batman doesn't like guns.
Yeah, but is that a gun or is it a BB gun?
It might be a BB gun.
But
like that shooting gallery gun.
You're right. I think it's later in this comic that they say he doesn't like guns.
Yeah.
So
it must be one of the shooting gallery guns, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it definitely is the shooting gallery gun. He shoots it a bunch. He says, "I'd like to test my marksmanship. You can help." And then he throws the guy back there, and then grabs the gun and shoots him with it. But I guess he just shoots all around him.
Yeah, he shoots all around him.
Well, they wouldn't have high-powered rifles there because they're shooting out like little plates and ducks and shit like that. They're not like...
Shoot your eye out, kid.
No. Shoot your eye out.
Oh, no, it was the class.
Yeah,
and this is clearly a comedy issue because there's a lot of hijinks in it. Anyway, the sprinkler system goes off and the fight continues on. Batman and Robin take advantage of the situation and start beating up the thugs. The kid bites the head boss. The fire people show up, realize there's not a fire and there's a fight, and they help Batman and Robin take down the goons, and they take the kid back home, and the kid learns a lesson, and he's going to be a good student from now on. The end.
Yep.
My God.
Whew. Why don't you read all the words? That would have took another half hour if you did that.
I had to speed through that because you guys spent a half hour on the last topic.
Anyway, back to Blade. That's an awesome scene in the beginning there.
Anyway, Uncle Chris.
Yeah.
You never did the people in the front.
I got it right here. I'm waiting. Okay. I was waiting for you to finish up. All right. The last one I all the time forgot. We got Batman and Robin, and then it says other characters. They're all single appearances. Professor Moloff, Dan, Dolores, and Big Guy Markham. Locations. It always says Gotham City and Wayne Manor. It's called The Eye all the time forgot.
Yeah, because it's forgotten. That's why it's not there.
They forgot it too.
Yeah, they definitely were somewhere. I was going to say, well, maybe it was just a movie set in Gotham, but it can't be because it was an isle and they had like old trees and stuff.
And if it was, how bad are Batman and Robin at flying that they don't know they're still in Gotham?
They were over. They were over like an ocean. So
the items that says bat rope and utility belt. Now I know it was an issue ago, but I don't remember bat rope or utility belt.
The bat rope, definitely.
The bat rope,
yeah.
For the T-Rex.
The T-Rex.
Oh, and the utility belt he uses to talk to Robin.
Oh, right. And then the bat plane, but it was the Robin plane, so.
Yes, it was Robin's plane.
So then we got the report card blues. Featured characters, Batman. Supporting characters, Robin. This is a different site that I'm using today because I couldn't find this one on the other one. Antagonists, Muggsy and Milo. Other characters, Tommy Trent. They're all single appearance. Locations, Gotham City. Vehicles, Batmobile.
All right. On to the third story.
So wait, in the first one, they don't list the T-Rex.
You're right.
Because it's not a person.
But no, I'm just saying, like, they list the Batmobile, but it actually is a very important thing if it carries on this long into Batman's life. I just assume
80 years.
They might list it. Yeah.
On the DC database that I have all my notes and stuff from, it's in the trivia part of that.
Gotcha.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it says Batman and Robin confront a mechanical dinosaur, which would become an iconic piece of memorabilia in the Batcave.
I like it. I thought that was actually a really cool thing.
The other trivia for that story, it isn't said which birthday Dick Grayson is celebrating. Bruce Wayne spanks him at least 10 times, though there could have been further spankings in between panels. Which could mean he's turning 9. Like I said, that's where I got 9 from. But there are 14 candles on his birthday cake. So, they don't even know.
Nope.
No one knows. It's a secret.
And they never do ever clarify his age anywhere, like even in later comics, right?
No, they do. When he grows up and actually becomes a character. And not just like a foil.
Right.
Anyway, on to the third story, The Princess of Plunder. Someone else explained the splash page.
You know, I never realized that that's how she started out, like she wore a cat mask.
But she didn't, because she didn't put the cat mask on until like the 4th time we saw her.
Right, but she's still got it on in this one.
Yeah, it's weird.
So she started out as a cat burglar.
Right.
And then she evolved into Catwoman.
She started off as disguising herself as an old lady.
That's true. But I don't really know what considers somebody a cat burglar. Does anyone know?
You have to say meow while you're going around the house.
No, a cat burglar is someone who steals things without guns and stuff. They break in, steal things without anyone knowing about it.
I'm pretty sure Chris, or Lumpy over there, has a cat burglar in his house. We're waiting for it to make a sound.
Hopefully they will. Right. I'll get the ball out and you'll hear them.
Oh no, don't get that goddamn ball out.
Alright, so it's like a giant cat suit woman on the splash page, and there's a jewelry box open, and Batman and Robin are in the jewelry box. Like they popped out and they're swinging from the pearls.
Why are they always tiny on the splash pages?
I know, and then it makes me excited because I think it's going to be one where they got shrunk or something, and they don't get shrunk.
It's never canon to splash pages. I don't know why you ever get your hopes up for that.
I think it's to make the bad guy look like, oh my god, it's such a menacing, huge bad guy.
But sometimes it's a one-shot bad guy that never comes back.
Well, the one last week they
Mr. Baffle.
Oh yeah, they even gave him top billing, and he never came back. So
anyway, we open up with Dick and Bruce, and they're bored from an activity. I guess they haven't been patrolling lately. So
maybe they should just go on vacation. They'll find something to do.
They do that in the next issue.
Yeah, you're right.
So they decide they're gonna go patrol tonight instead of going to some fancy party. This is the only story I liked, but I also had problem with the story. Like, for instance, we go to this party, and the hostess is Selina Kyle.
Yeah.
But she's going by a different name. But she's in high society in Gotham because Bruce was invited. And he would recognize her the moment he walked through that manor.
He has already made out with her.
And he kind of does. I feel like he kind of knows. It's kind of a weird thing throughout.
But he doesn't go to that party, does he?
No, he doesn't go to the party. But she is obviously in Gotham, and there's these parties have been happening all the time. Why hasn't he done something about this beforehand?
Right.
And apparently, whoever she is she's a huge deal in society. Like, everyone knows her, and it's okay whatever these people are doing because it's for her party. So she's a big deal here. So it's just very weird.
And so why is she stealing things if she doesn't need it?
Right.
Like, I don't like this high society version of Selina Kyle because there's no real motivation for him. She's bored, and that seems to be the motivation for every rich person. We're bored. Let's go fight crime. We're bored. Let's go steal things.
Yeah, whoever's writing this thinks that rich people are just sitting around doing nothing, and that's how crime and crime fighting happens.
Apparently, because I don't know. So Selena's Kyle's going by a different name. I can't be bothered to look it up right now. And
yeah, I can't even think of it right now.
So she's having a party, and the theme of this party is she has games for some reason at these parties. And
Marguerite Tones.
Yeah, Marguerite Tomes. And the theme of this party is that they have to... She's sending everyone on a scavenger hunt. And for some stuff that I don't think is even possible to get, like ostrich feathers and eagle eggs. So
yeah, and then there's some that like I can go in the store and get right now, an overripe tomato. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what this was about, but it was weird. I guess they're gonna go to a zoo and start stealing things.
Well, it sounds like
she's just trying to keep them all busy.
It sounds like she had the scavenger hunt, so if they got caught doing what they were doing, they could just say, no, I'm on a scavenger hunt, and then they would just let them go, because the cops are idiots in Gotham.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that. I don't think you just break into someone's house and say, hey, it's a scavenger hunt, which happens later, by the way.
It does.
It does.
Hey, are you stealing my baby? Yeah, I need her for a scavenger hunt. Oh, haha, okay, no problem.
Oh, for the really rich lady? Oh, that's fine. You steal whatever you want to for her.
Anyway, so while the scavengers are going on, Selena puts on her mask, and I guess she doesn't tell her thugs who she is, looks like. And no, because they mention her name later, don't they?
Yes.
So why is she putting on her getup for her thugs? Because she puts on her mask, tells them what to do, and then takes the mask off. She doesn't go with them.
No, she lays down in bed and smokes a cigarette.
Yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one of the thugs shows up at some rich guy's house, and he's there for an autograph because apparently that is one of the things of the scavenger hunt. And while the butler goes and gets the guy for the autograph, he steals something. I don't know what exactly he stole. A shield, maybe? An ornament?
He tucks something. It might be a shield, because that looks like what's hanging on the wall.
Right.
At first I thought he was stealing the vase, but there's no way he fits that into his shirt.
Yeah, I don't even think the shield would fit into his shirt.
Yeah, I don't know, but he tucks it in his shirt, whatever it is.
All it says is he pockets the priceless jeweled heirloom of the Vanderwell family.
Yeah, I don't know. Meanwhile, at a different place, this guy breaks into this lady's dressing room and is looking at her jewels, and she's like, I'm going to call the cops. And he's like, no, I'm here on a scavenger hunt. I need a pencil from you.
Oh, here you go. Thank you.
And she's like, oh, yeah, here you go.
See you later.
And the crooks are laughing because this is working so well. And then they go and steal some jewelry from some other ladies' bedrooms instead of a slipper. They get into a Ritz gambling joint because of the badge that she's been giving around. And instead of the poker chips, they steal all the money, which I think is kind of impressive considering. But meanwhile, somewhere downtown, Batman and Robin are on patrol, and they see two guys breaking into a house.
Yeah, here come the party poopers.
So they go in, they pretty much destroy whoever house this is.
Yeah, they use their like priceless heirlooms to beat the guys up with.
So thanks, Batman and Robin.
And well, if anything happens, they could just hit her on a scavenger hunt, and everything will be fine. So.
Yeah, Batman breaks the door, and then the crooks throw stuff at him.
Right, which doesn't make any sense. Why are you attacking?
Right.
Just say, hey, no, I'm here for a scavenger hunt. But no,
well, that's what they wind up doing in the middle of it. They're like, we're trying to get our French poodle. They're trying to steal a lady's poodle anyway.
After they get their asses kicked, then they say...
Right, and then Batman's like, oh yeah, we'll see about that. And then calls her, doesn't recognize her voice, and says, okay, you're on the level, you can go, even though you just broke into this house.
He does recognize her voice.
He says that voice, it was the Catwoman. He does recognize her voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just assumed.
But he still lets them go. I guess he follows them.
Yeah, that's part of his plan.
Yeah.
Now he knows he has to see where they go.
Right.
But it says later in the Batmobile, speeding home. Like he's going home.
He's got a plan. He likes to let crime happen for a couple days first.
Yeah,
that's alright.
That's true. He does wait till the next night.
Right. He likes to make people really need him. Like, why is he going to show up before it happens? Then they're going to be like, we don't know what Batman was doing. He just stopped a couple guys from doing something. They got to steal some stuff first.
Anyway, the thugs go back to Catwoman, and they tell them about Batman, and she's excited about the prospect. Bruce Wayne gets an invite to a party, because I guess she has a party every night.
Yeah, well, now it's costume party. Dress whoever you want to dress like.
Yep, everyone's dressing up like George Washington, Scarlett O'Hara, Napoleon.
But she makes this plan because she knows that the Batman's onto her.
Right. Yeah, I do like the front of this Batmobile. I do like that.
Except she makes this plan, but she makes all of her goons dressed up as Batman, which allows Batman to sneak in.
Well, who thought Batman was going to show up as Batman?
She anticipated it.
I mean, it backfires on her, but she thinks that it's a good plan because now a whole bunch of Batmans are going to go around and steal stuff.
Anyway,
it's going to look like Batman was stealing.
Anyway, you said Batmans. What, don't you think it would be Batman? Bunch of Batmen.
Batmans.
Lump, here you go. Here's your fat Batman that you were asking for.
There is a fat Batman. So. I've seen a fat Batman at Comic-Con, too, so...
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, but a few episodes ago, maybe a lot of episodes ago, by this point I don't even remember, he was like, is there ever a fat Batman? And then there you go.
There he is.
Anyway, Catwoman comes in and addresses her thugs, and then another Batman walks in and says, I only had 4 of you, there's 5 of you, everyone unmasked. And then Batman says, I'm not taking off my mask. And then there's a big fight. And Catwoman tries to throw an urn at him, and then he slaps her.
Does he slap her? He does slap her.
He does slap her.
That's okay.
He slaps her.
Sometimes women get out of hand, you gotta slap them across the face. We talked about this before.
That's my point, though. If he's going to hit her, at least punch her like he punches the other guys.
We talked about this before. In the 40s, if a girl got out of hand, they just slapped them across the face, and that calmed them.
Yeah, that was their... Apparently, in the 40s, that was their therapy. If she gets hysterical, you just slap her, and it makes everything all better.
Yeah. I know, but when he's punching all the other Batman, and then they purposely write the word slap here, it seems really bad to me for some reason.
Why? He don't want to punch a girl. He wants to slap her.
I don't know.
Plus, he slapped her, and she had that big old cat head on, so I don't think it did too much damage anyway.
It felt egregious to me, but maybe it's just me.
Apparently, she liked it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, Batman's fighting Batman, and Robin swings in through a window, and the fight continues on.
How does Robin know which one's Batman?
That he's the only one wearing a mask.
Oh, that's right. She made him take her mask off. But how does he know it's not Bruce with his makeup on? Because Bruce always puts makeup on, and then you don't know who he is.
Because he knows his true love.
He does.
And I don't know how she gets away here.
She gets away by kissing Batman, doesn't she?
No, that's later.
Oh, no, that's later. Not yet.
Oh, she says you can't prove that I did anything.
Oh, and he just lets her go.
And yeah, and he's like, you're right, bye. And that's it. And then a week passes. And then nothing happens. And Catwoman's new plan is to get all rich society to hire her goons as butlers and chauffeurs and cooks and stuff so they can rob them blind. And all the stupid rich people do it, but Bruce shows up at one of his friend's house and recognizes one of the goons. And then he follows them to the back and uncovers their plan of them robbing everybody, and then knocks the butler out, and then he puts on the makeup and becomes butler.
He does, yeah.
The makeup that he always carries with him, which they state in this.
And he puts on very fast.
Yes.
Yep. And so Batman goes upstairs disguised and tells his friend that Bruce had to leave. And she's like, oh, Bruce, he is probably bored as usual, and just left. So
there's Catwoman.
Yes.
I forgot I lost my place.
Catwoman distracted you.
Yes, she did.
Fight. That's where we're at.
So Batman summons, or disguised Bruce summons Robin, and he goes and he beats up the goons. This lady has like a ping pong table, a billiards board, and a basketball hoop in her basement for some reason.
And a dumpster.
Because Bruce let her... Yeah, Bruce led them down to the basement instead of letting them escape because they thought they were the butler guy. He was the butler guy. He throws them in a cold bin, and I guess he locks them in there.
Yeah, saving them there for the police.
Saving them there for the police, exactly. So he goes to meanwhile, at a different mansion, Catwoman is there trying to rob this place, and then Batman shows up and Robin show up and start beating them up. They throw some food around, and more hijinks ensue.
I don't get the Robin pun thing here. How do you like your eggs? Yegs? Is that somebody's name?
I think his name is Yegs.
Okay. He throws a turkey at somebody, or is that a cake? It might be a cake. I'm not positive.
And then a knife is thrown and hits some flour, which covers the entire room, allowing the thugs and Catwoman to escape yet again.
Yeah. Well, not Catwoman.
Yeah, she did. She escaped.
Yeah, but she's still...
She says, then it's because the next panel after that scene, it says, down at the confidential agency, which I don't know what that is, but...
Oh, okay. I was ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's right, yeah. I was on the next page.
So I guess the plan is that Catwoman is having these guys steal all their heirlooms and then having them set up like a lost and found so the guys can come and re-buy their heirloom.
Basically pay her to get them back.
If it's a lost and found, you can't charge people for their own stuff, can you?
Apparently you can.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Batman and Robin show up at this place and another fight happens. But one of Catwoman's thugs gets angry at Catwoman, saying, "You brought this. We're gonna get arrested because of you." Tries to shoot her, but Batman punches him in the face, and so she kisses him, and she gets away because Batman's so distracted by the kiss.
Yeah, he gets all stuttery, and Robin has to. Did Robin smack him?
No, I just think
they make like lines like he's doing something, but I don't know if he smacks him.
He's yelling,
but he says, "Batman, wake up!"
Yeah,
they would just write "smack" if they smacked him.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
And then we get at the last panel, sometime later in Bruce Wayne's apartment. Catwoman is still at large on a newspaper, and Dick is like, "I think you let Catwoman escape," and he's like, "I didn't know such thing. I mean, she is beautiful and stuff, and it's a shame we can't work together. And we'll get her next time." That's pretty much what he says, and that's the end of that one.
Appearances in this one. Batman and Robin. Now, this one is a little weird. It says antagonist, and it says Catwoman. But then under Catwoman, it says Silky Davis, single appearance. I don't know who that is.
That's one of her thugs. That's the one that Bruce does recognize at the party that realized that he was the butler.
But it says it's a single appearance. Why name him at all? Like, there was 10 of them there, right?
Yeah, but I think he was one of the only ones that got named.
That actually got named in the comic.
Okay. Then it says Gotham City Police Department, Mr. Vanderwell, single appearance. Locations, Gotham City, vehicles, Batmobile. That's all they got on this one. So.
And they don't list Yeggs.
No Yeggs. And I don't know how he likes his eggs.
Yeggs.
Anyway.
On to the last one. Thank God.
Oh my God. How long have we been going here? This is craziness.
An hour 15.
That's not that bad. All right.
Open and splash page. Lump, take it away.
There's a big star hanging from the bat, and Batman and Robin are beating up a couple of cowboys, I guess. There's cactus? Surely nothing. Just
purple
Batman
lines in the sky? Yeah.
Yeah, Batman's in the sky beating up cowboys.
This story makes no sense whatsoever.
I like this story.
The story makes no sense. We start off in a ghost town that is inhabited by an old prospector and a kid. And they just decide to live here. And then a couple of people shows up and they're out of gas. So the old guy says, "Why don't you start a farm here?" And they say, "Sure." Then a doctor shows up and he says, "Sure, I'll join your community because there's only young doctors these days. You need old people." So a bunch of old people come together and turn this ghost town into like an old-timey...
a thriving community.
Western community, which I don't think is legal. I don't think you could just inhabit a ghost town and take it over and say this is our community.
They are called squatters. That's what they're called. The whole town of squatters.
Back then, actually, I think it was okay. People abandoned these old mining towns, and if people moved in, they just kind of settled them again.
1942?
Yeah.
I don't think in 1942.
You don't think so?
No, I think that ended in the 1900s. So, when taxes and stuff really got everything, when the government really took control of everything.
I think there were still a lot of very unsettled towns back then.
I have no opinion on this.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because eventually a bunch of people show up and then a bunch of bandits on horses show up from out of the 19th century.
Well, once you get a ghost town going, you gotta expect the bandits to show up next, If you got swinging doors on your saloon, you're gonna have a problem eventually.
These bandits just so happen to ride horses and are bad guys and are like cattle rustlers and stuff.
Yeah, apparently.
Anyway, they come into town and they start, like, stabbing people and stuff.
Yeah, they're not nice people.
So, and the townsfolk's like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, call the cops? Get some cops down here?
They don't have electricity or phones or anything.
It doesn't matter. There's a bunch of criminals killing people. Get them down here.
You get that little redhead kid and stick him on a horse and say, head to the next town and get us some help. That's what you do.
And instead of helping them, they said, we're going to put your story in the newspaper and maybe Batman will come and help you. What? This is ridiculous. And so these rustlers, like, burn down a barn, they stab the guy. So you're right, they send the redheaded kid to a newspaper guy. Then he's on the radio telling people that he needs help and hopes Batman is listening. And, of course, he is, because he's always listening when he needs to be listening to the radio.
Right.
And then they suit up, and I guess they just fly there.
Yeah, but how do they even know where it is?
I'm guessing he told them.
The kid had coordinates?
Over the radio.
He followed the radio waves, that's right.
Radio waves.
I forgot he can follow radio waves.
Just keep flying until the sound gets louder.
So
yeah,
no, he probably told everybody where it was on the radio so that when Batman leaves, more rustlers can come later and take over the town again. So Batman and Robin show up and fly to town and they take care of the rustlers. And they elect Batman as their sheriff, long story short.
Yeah, well, when I heard that, like, did Batman plan on living there for the rest of his life? Is that why
he says he was going to stay there for a little while.
He just needed to have official law title to actually act as getting rid of these guys that were in the town.
But this
basically what they say.
This isn't an official election. They can't just hold an election in a town they made up in the city in 1942.
Apparently they can.
Yes, they can.
If they wanted to tell the story, they should have just sent Batman and Robin back in time. I'm sorry.
They did, pretty much.
1942.
No, they should have sent them back to...
happening.
They should have set this back to 1842.
No, in the early 1900s, they were still resettling these places.
I have no opinion on this either.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. You were wrong.
Settlements were still being abandoned as late as 1910. And we've actually resettled some of these places as soon as early to us as 2004. We were still resettling some of these places.
The government is not a bunch of people showing up in a ghost town saying, we live here now. We don't have to pay anything for this.
What year was the gold rush?
In the 1900s.
Wait, that's two different times. 1900s is two different times. This is the 1900s.
I meant 1800s. It's like, I think early 1830s.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's that far-fetched.
I don't know. What are the 49ers? Isn't that like 1849? Wasn't that the gold rush thing?
I don't. It was in 1949.
All I know is that this town is publicly known now because this kid was on a radio, and the government will be down here so quickly taking control of it.
So the start date of the California Gold Rush was 1848. You don't think it lasted 100 years?
No, I don't.
Yes, and it's still to shape American history during the first half of the 19th century. So it was like the whole first half of the 1800s, and you don't think it lasted that long?
No, I don't. Because by that time, I think California was already a state.
States were different in the 40s.
No, they weren't. Once you're a state, you're under governmental control.
I will be back next week with more research on this. We'll end this now.
You're going to be busy decoding the Superman secret message anyway.
That too.
Anyway, so there's an election happening, I guess. And the bad guys try to stop it by trying to kill Batman with a giant rock and stuff in the ballot box, but they're foiled the whole way. And yeah, so Batman becomes sheriff, he's elected, and, they stick around for I don't know how long. Because
years.
They're long enough for Robin to, get comfortable enough to get a haircut and stuff. And that there's plenty of newspapers saying that Batman ends crime in Sunshine. There was 3 people committing crime in this city. Of course he stopped it.
They were cattle rustlers. They weren't regular people.
Anyway, even the rustlers are seem to be turning over a new leaf. So, wait, how long have Batman and Robin been here? Did they never take off their costumes? Did they just go out in public every day?
They elected him. They didn't even know his name.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even get to that.
They called him Batman.
Some of the last Western territories were settled in 1959.
Okay.
So it's still possible in 42 that some of these towns were being just taken over randomly by people.
No. Just because it says they were settled doesn't mean some random people showed up to a ghost town and said this is ours now. They would still have to purchase the land and stuff like that.
In 1960...
This has been American history and us.
Anyway. So I think this town gets a loan from their neighboring city, I guess, to get pavements and electricity, and I guess $40,000 is enough to restructure this entire town.
I'm sure $40,000 was a lot of money, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand it's a lot of money, but they're talking about, like, building a city here, like, running power lines and paving streets and stuff like that. That's a lot of money.
Either way, they shouldn't be transporting it in a carriage.
In a carriage, right. They are. They're transporting it in $40,000 in a carriage. What's even weirder is Batman's not even there escorting it. I think he sent Robin to do it.
Well, somebody might shoot. He's not going to sit on that thing while they shoot at him.
It's fair, because they do shoot and kill the old prospector guy.
Yeah.
And then they kidnap Robin and take the carriage. But, Robin, smart guy. But Batman gave him a gun, too, for some reason. With blanks in it. Yeah, with blanks in it for some reason. And Lumpy's power just went out.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
I thought, you know what I honestly thought? I thought he was looking up more crap about the 40s and Westerns.
So we're just going to finish this up, Uncle Chris.
I think he got mad and hung up because we weren't listening to him.
So Robin leaves blank pellets for Batman to follow because Batman's a dog and just follows.
As we spoke about earlier, just drop things on the ground and Batman will find you.
Right, and Batman does find him. He beats up the cattle rustlers with the help of all the old men in town. Some of them are descended from sheriffs from past time, conveniently.
Yeah.
And Batman, they find out that the guy who supposedly changed his ways behind it, of course. So he goes back, he beats him up, knocks everyone out. They spend the $40,000 on a statue to the old prospector, I guess.
And don't get no electricity or pavement.
Yep, nope. And they were like, okay, Batman's like, this town is safe now, I'm going home. And they get in the Batplane and they leave. I hated this story.
I like that it's cowboys and westerns, but it was, like, tough. I'm telling you, he read that encyclopedia about the ferns. This was longer than that encyclopedia.
Probably.
I was reading this right before we came on to record, trying to get it done before you guys wanted to set the time, and I could not get through it. It's like, it was 10 minutes a page with all the words they had on these pages. It's like, you shouldn't even have put pictures on it. You should have just made a novel out of it if you're going to do that much writing.
I like the Lumpy's not here to defend it, too. So.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate any of them, but I wasn't, I didn't think they were the best either.
No, I didn't like the 3 of the 4 stories.
I like the Joker stories that you guys pooped all over last week. I like when the Penguin shows up. I don't know. These were good, but they weren't the best ones yet for me.
Right. Yeah.
Appearing in the Sheriff of Ghost Town, Batman, Robin, Five Aces Frogel, Cactus Tom, and Joe Jeffers.
Okay.
It just says Gotham City, Wayne Manor, and Sunshine City. Is that like right near Gotham?
No, they flew there.
Oh, that's right. Well, they fly everywhere anymore. And then the Batplane, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now, what is this? I see the trivia now where you said it. What is this? In the third story, there's a reference to the World's Finest number. World's Finest is the ones we haven't been reading. That's why I don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, I saw that too, and I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find a reference.
Yeah. And that's all it says. That's all we got for this one, so.
Yeah. I'm done with this one.
I'm kind of done too. You want to hear a joke?
I guess I'm the only one that has to now.
Listen, this one's good. It ties everything together. You ready? Now, if Batman was in a rodeo, what kind of dinosaur could he ride in that rodeo?
I don't know.
A Bronchosaurus.
Oh, my God.
Come on. That brought everything together.
I'm done. TJ here from Comics and Us, just here to plug the social media. Check us out on Twitter. Our handle is @everytnus because someone took everything and us, but the name of the Twitter page is Everything and Us Podcast, and then the handle is @everytnus. You can also check us out on Instagram, which is also Everything and Us. These all encapsulate all the podcasts that I do, but you're going to find all your updates for Comics and Us, Anime and Us, so forth and so forth. You can also contact us right now at everythinganduspodcasts@gmail.com. Still working on the website. And until then, that's where you can get a hold of us. That's all. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.